Hi, I'm Julie. You're about to watch a really good video on why I love Beauty and the Beast. A great movie made by Disney, the Disney company. So freaking good. You're gonna love it. Especially if you like that movie. Hi, I'm Julie Kerr, writer and director of the indie nerdy comedy Geek Loves Monk. And today I'm going to talk about how much I'm going to talk about how much I love the movie Beauty and the Beast. I'm going to explain why. Yeah. First thing is I made a video about Snow White. Once Disney opened the Disney Vault with Disney Plus, I was feeling very ambitious and I thought I was going to make a video on every Disney animated movie ever. That didn't happen. I got busy, so I'm going from Snow White to Beauty and the Beast. On my Snow White video, I got a comment from Edward Gonzalez 6331. Hi, Edward. And the comment says, "Awesome video. I love learning new things about movies. I never knew the artists had a lab to create their own colors and the other details. So cool. Viva el feminismo." Gracias. Okay. There's something called like bad faith criticism, and it's like a thing and you can look up what it is. But since I'm an indie filmmaker and I really respect the work ethic that goes into making a movie, I'm gonna say positive things about Beauty and the Beast. Okay, it came out in the 90s. I also want to explain briefly the Disney Renaissance. So I was born in 1982. I was a kid in the 90s. So the Disney Renaissance, for an entire generation of kids, myself included, it completely blew our minds. We never really got to see, I grew up in a small town, Virginia, so we never really got to see movies in theaters that often when I was a kid. So, but we did get to see, one of the first movies I got to see was The Little Mermaid in a theater, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, these three movies in a theater. And so they completely blew my mind. And these three movies are not just my mind. Like when we're saying Disney Renaissance, these movies defined an entire generation of kids. And also The Lion King. I remember being in middle school at that point, and we were in middle school. Like, so we'd kind of outgrown cartoons a little, and people were still going bananas over The Lion King. So it was a thing. Like, it was a cultural phenomenon for an entire group of kids, including myself. Beauty and the Beast, I've seen it in like IMAX. It's just really good. So I just want to explain like why I like it. I'm also like an indie filmmaker, so everyone watching my videos, like, you do you, right? Be yourself. But I'm really encouraging people to be filmmakers, to be creators, to make your own stuff. So that's why I tend to want to say positive stuff. If I don't like a movie, I just don't review it. I don't know. But I like Beauty and the Beast, so let's get started. Okay. The last thing I'm going to say is this is a really cool book. It's called Ink and Paint, The Women of Walt Disney's Animation by Mindy Johnson. It's a really great book. My sister bought this for me for my birthday. Thanks, Jessica. Love you. And you can see here's the ink and paint department. It's a really great book. I saw Mindy Johnson give a lecture at the Walt Disney Museum in San Francisco, and it was a great lecture. She started crying in the middle of a lecture, like in a really powerful way. It was just awesome. Like, it really inspired me as a filmmaker. So that's why I decided to do a review of Snow White, because these women did the ink and paint for Snow White, and they're really cool. Okay, the thing about Beauty and the Beast from a filmmaking standpoint, it was nominated for an Oscar, and it was nominated an Oscar, I believe, before there was a category for animated films. So Beauty and the Beast, the animated film, was competing with live-action movies in the Oscar category. That just shows you how good this movie is from a filmmaking standpoint. The animation and the music is outstanding. The music is lyrics by Howard Ashman, music by Alan Menken, geniuses, and animation is outstanding. I wish I could say their names, but I don't have them memorized. But yeah, sometimes when I watch Beauty and the Beast, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's really good acting. But it's not an actor. I mean, the voice actor's fantastic. But it's somebody drew that. So they drew these characters so well that they just especially the Beast, they just feel so real, from an animation standpoint. I know they're not real. Okay, so yeah, just from a technical level, there's a part where Belle asks the Beast to step into the light. It's one of my favorite scenes. It's so powerful. And the part where the Beast steps into the light, I mean, just from a shot perspective, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's a very powerful scene, and it's a movie for kids. I was a kid. Okay. So, yeah, that's what the first thing I love is the animation, and the music's really good. The second thing I like about it is, to me, the Beast, he does evolve, and he's supposed to evolve. So, to me, the Beast doesn't represent toxic masculinity. No. But I do think Gaston represents toxic masculinity. And if you're talking toxic femininity, Gaston's little groupies, those 3 little groupies who are following him around, they represent toxic femininity, right? And what the Beast and Belle represent is these new ideas, especially in the 90s, these new ideas of what it is to be masculine, what it is to be feminine. Like the positive sides of being masculine, the positive sides of being feminine. Okay, so the Beast does evolve. You know, there's a part where Belle runs away from the castle, and Beast goes, oh right, and then she almost gets killed by wolves, and the Beast risks his life to, fights off the wolves and almost dies to save her life. And he does save her life. And Belle, she's almost about to leave, but then she decides, no, I'm gonna help him. He just almost died helping me. I get like the premise of the movie isn't great, right? So that's valid. The premise where, yeah, the premise where he's like, oh, you have to stay in the castle, and then she does, that part, not great. But they fixed that in, Guillermo del Toro made that movie. The way you fix it in a modern day way of doing it is you have the woman kind of choose to be around the Beast, but, so for sure, that little part isn't great, but basically what the Beast does is he does evolve and change. Like there's this part where, he's eating food with Belle, and he doesn't know how to use a spoon, so he's like, and then Belle is, she's like, So then the Beast is like, oh, I guess I should try to use a spoon. He tries to use a spoon. Belle can see, like, he's like, he doesn't know how to use a spoon, and she picks up the bowl of soup. She's like, okay, and she meets him halfway. Okay. So, and then eventually he does let her go out of love, and he doesn't care if he stays a Beast forever. So I think that's the biggest thing is, like, he does let her go. I know. I know some of the plot lines problematic, but to me, yeah, Gaston is toxic masculinity. But yeah, the Beast does let her go out of love. So his love for her is larger than his love for himself. And also, it's a movie. It's not a documentary on healthy cycle. I don't know. Okay. I like at the end in the movie where Gaston and the bad guys have raided the castle, the villagers, and there's this part where Gaston is fighting the Beast, and he doesn't care. He's like, he's sad, he doesn't care, he's not even fighting Gaston back. And this is where it's a really good shot choice. But the Beast, like, once he hears Belle's voice, she's come back with her dad, he hears her voice. The shot is, I know this movie shot for shot, the shot is Gaston's about to hit the Beast with like a bat or something, and then Gaston goes like this, and then the Beast goes like this, and that's the shot. It's such a powerful shot, and the music is outstanding, and it's raining. Okay, so good. And finally the Beast fights Gaston, but really the only reason he's fighting Gaston is he just wants to get to his girl, Belle, or his woman, Belle. Although technically they're kind of just friends, but you know what I mean. So that scene's so powerful. And finally there's this part where the Beast has Gaston like over a cliff or whatever, or over the castle, or right, where he could just drop him. And his face is like this. Like, he's mad. And then cue the music, the outstanding music, but cue the music where his face goes like this. Sorry. And all of a sudden he goes like this. And then he's like, he's not mad anymore. And in the movie, he starts off really angry and he starts off kind of an asshole. But he's not, by the end of the movie, he's not angry anymore. He doesn't care. So he just wants to hang out with Belle. He's evolved, so he takes Gaston and he says, get out. Rather than killing him, he says, get out. Okay, last thing before I get back to the ending, but there's this other part, the song Something There, between the Beast and Belle, where Beast has evolved and he's learning how to be gentle and kind, and he's learning the good parts of being masculine, but also, you know, if he wants to be friends with Belle, he's learning how to be vulnerable. So the line where, it's a great song, but the line where the Beast says, and when we touched, she didn't shudder at my paw. I was like, oh my gosh. That line, written by Howard Ashman, that line was definitely, Howard Ashman happens to be, he was gay, and I happen to be gay, blah, 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 whatever, but that line was definitely written by, I think, an LGBTQ person, and this is why. If you're gay, you're told you're different, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I remember, and this video is for grown-ups, I remember the first time I was in college, and it wasn't until college that I first kissed a woman. So I was dating a woman, we kissed, we were fooling around, if you will, and I remember thinking, because I didn't have a lot of experience anyway, but I was like, and she was super feminine, like makeup, dresses, all that kind of stuff. And I was kind of a tomboy, you know. Okay, I remember when we were kissing and kind of fooling around, I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, she really is gay. I remember thinking that. But I also remember thinking like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this is happening. I don't know. It kind of felt like, oh, she's not shuddering at my paws, but I have hands and I'm a human being. But I guess the Beast represents like the kind of like alienation of being different. I don't know. But I don't mean that, I'm not trying to get too deep with that. And I'm not talking about furries, whatever, because the internet, you know, but I just mean, I don't know, what the Beast symbolized, you know, someone who feels different, you know, or is different. And I also had a really good friend who was very much in love with a girlfriend, and they were a super cute couple, and she said, like, every time her and a girlfriend were intimate, she's like, she told me, she's like, man, she's thinking, sometimes she's like, man, you know, I can't believe this is happening. So the sentiment is like, she's not shuddering at my paws, but except she's a person and she has hands. But the Beast kind of symbolizes anyone who feels kind of different inside. And I'm not trying to be too deep with that. I'm really not. I'm just, I don't know, like there's a lot of people that like identify with the Beast. Okay, so then there's this part in Beauty and the Beast where, you know, the Beast at the end puts Gaston down, and he just wants to hang out with Belle. That's all he cares about. He just wants to hang out with this woman. So he goes to hang out with Belle, climbs up the castle and goes to like the whatever terrace, I guess. Hangs out with Belle, and then Gaston stabs him because Gaston is toxic masculinity. He's a jerk. So now we're gonna get into the third reason why I like this movie, Belle. I think Belle is really cool. In the 1990s, like these characters, Belle was considered a feminist icon. You know, Belle stands up to Beast the entire time in the movie. She does, you know, she's always putting him in his place. You know, she's, you know, she is, if you watch the whole movie, she's standing up to the Beast the entire movie, she is. But also, and obviously the opening is iconic, where she's reading and the entire town is like going bananas because she likes to read. That's just clever. It's just clever. And the scene where I want to venture in the great wide somewhere. You know, I come from a small town. Small towns are great, but she just wants to venture out a little. That's all. So Belle was considered very feminist icon in the 1990s, like straight up. Also, the part where the Beast is dead, or we think he's dead. The fact where Belle says, "No, no, Beast, no," and then Belle says, "I love you." And what was considered like really feminist in the 1990s was just like, love saves the day, not violence. Love. So it's the love of a woman that saves Beast and turns him pretty, because he changes into a human. But yeah, Belle's actually considered very feminist in the 1990s. I was there. I remember watching all these videos, like talking about how progressive Beauty and the Beast was. So there's a really old school version of Beauty and the Beast that's considered really good. I forget what it's called, but I'll put the little thing below. It's pretty good. It's black and white. It's old school. It's really good. But yeah, I think Beauty and the Beast is a great movie from a filmmaking standpoint. I think it's brilliant. It's one of the reasons why I decided I wanted to be a filmmaker. So I think it's a good movie. It's not perfect, but I think it's a good movie. And I think Gaston is the one who represents like narcissism, or for psychology videos, or represents someone who is not nice. I don't know. Okay, I like the movie Beauty and the Beast. I think it's awesome. And I just wanted to say that. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Julie Kerr, writer and director of the indie nerdy comedy Geek Loves. Want you to check out my website down below. Join my email list. Get discounts on everything I have to say on the website. You get Productive Creativity. That is a free course on how to finish your projects faster. Thank you so much for watching. You're really awesome and you're the best. And I don't know. It's okay to like stuff. It's okay to like movies and stuff if that's stuff that you like. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.